Welcome, everybody. We're going to be getting started here in just a couple of minutes. We'll let everybody kind of get logged in, and then Josh and I will take the screen. And actually, Josh will do most of it. He's going to give us an awesome overview of stuff today. I'm super excited to have Josh with us. So we'll get just a minute here and we'll get things kicked off. Let me let everybody's note takers in a moment, make sure that they can see everybody. And then I'll get Josh here a minute and bring him up on screen as well, and we'll get things started. So excited to have you guys here. This is going to be a fun conversation. Give me just a moment here to find, there we go. And now you should see Josh and I. There we go. Good to see you, Josh. Glad to have you joining us.
Hey,
Like I
thanks for
said, we'll
having me. Looking forward to this. It's gonna
absolutely.
be a blast.
It will be. Well, normally when we have these conversations, we just go way over our allotted time, and it's just the two of us. I'm really excited that we're going to have a chance to chat with everybody else here a little bit and dive into things. So this will be super, super cool. We're going to give it just another minute here, make sure that at least according to my clock, we've got everybody set to do that, and we'll do things. While we're waiting, guys, do us a favor if you would. Tell us whereabouts in the country or world, for that matter, you're joining from. I'm in West Michigan currently. It's cold here today. Excuse me. I am super excited to go back down to Alabama where it's warm. Josh, I don't know about you. Where are you at?
I'm in Southeast Virginia. So basically, you go in Virginia till you run into the water, and that's where I am without running south into North Carolina.
Okay,
So
cool.
right
Well,
near Norfolk and Virginia Beach.
I'll be a lot closer to you next week. I'm going to be up in DC for an event. So, but still a little ways away. Virginia is definitely not a small state. So,
No, you can drive west 5.5 hours and still be in the state.
yeah, yeah, no, it's definitely a big one. My father used to live over there, and I remember I'd always, how close are you to DC? And he's like, yeah, like 3 hours away, and further is better. So,
Yeah,
I start,
definitely.
yeah, awesome. Well, I got lots of people. We got from all over. Love that. Love seeing where everybody's coming from. This is fantastic. All right, well, let's go ahead and kick things off. We've got, again, still people coming in, but we'll get things kicked off so we can make the most of this time that we've got together. So, most of you guys know me. I'm Jonathan, and love to have you here. I want to introduce you to Josh Brown. If you haven't met Josh yet, Josh and I have been talking, well, Josh, about the last year, I'm going to say, give or take. I don't remember when we met, but it's again
Yeah.
about that, maybe a little longer.
Yeah,
Does
at
that sound
least a
about right?
year, if not more. Yeah.
Yeah, it could definitely be more. And I tell you what, when it comes to coaching programs and stuff like that, Josh is like truly the best guy I know. He's got these amazing insights. He's got everything else. Josh has got a brand new book that came out, and I reached out to Josh a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, dude, we got to get you in front of my community to talk about some of the stuff that you're sharing in the book. The book is absolutely amazing. There's some really cool stuff going on in there. And Joshua was generous enough to say, "Hey, well, let's just talk about course selling playbook, right, or blueprint."
Yep.
I'm trying to
Six
remember.
zone playbook. Yep.
There we go. I always get that wrong between blueprint. Guys, if you haven't, I'm sure Josh will have a link for us later on that. But the Josh is, again, if you've ever thought about a course, you've ever done a course and you want to figure out how to do a better job with that, Josh has got so much experience and everything else. Before I butcher the introduction, Josh, I'm going to turn things over to you. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, if you would, and then let's dive in and we'll, excuse me, hiccups here. We'll kind of play it by ear and see where we go, but I'll let you kind of take over if that's all right with you.
Well, first of all, in the chat, let's give Jonathan a round of applause for pulling this many people together. And it's a teachable moment. And I was a teacher for a decade. I love teachable moments. Is that it really shows when you deliver to your community, provide huge amounts of value, people respect you and show up, not just because they feel guilty on like wanting to do it, it's because they actually are like, is my person. So, Jonathan, thank you so much.
And thank you for
Totally
the kind
amazing.
words.
Give a quick introduction is basically my name's Josh Brown, and I'm known in a lot of the entrepreneur world as the course guy. And that's because that's what most people know when they think education products. But it goes beyond that because I firmly believe that your course is your center pool of knowledge to then build your business upon. Think about it. Your course, that's your curriculum to drive your one-to-one. It's things you can take little nuggets out of to take and do a workshop or social post, all of those things. And when you nail that piece, everything becomes easier. And I come to this because I was a professional educator for a decade. I've also been in the corporate world. And I literally studied this and wrote on it and all of those things, all the way up to PhD hours in education. And back in 2017, I saw all these entrepreneurs starting to sell these programs, things like that, but the success rates were awful. And, they were marketers, not educators. And I went, well, I'm an educator. I can fix that. So I started talking to these entrepreneurs. Many of them are big names in the industry. And they were like, that's totally cool. And I'm like, yeah, this is what we can do your program. And we started seeing success rates go up. And again, just like Jonathan talks about inside the group and all of that a lot, is that you start building reciprocity with these people. And ended up that in 2018, I went full time into doing this, and I've been hitting it ever since. And in that time, I've consulted with and helped new entrepreneurs, those who are trying to transition online, all the way up to I've worked with industry leaders like Russell Brunson. I've consulted with him on his programs with his team. I've worked with Todd Dickerson on the software side and helping design ClickFunnels 2.0 member area and all of that because, like Jonathan, I'm a tech geek. I love tech. And now I work with all sorts of amazing entrepreneurs, and I'm really excited to share this with you and actually tie it into that AI piece. 'Cause I know that's why a lot of you are here.
Awesome. Well, again, I'm excited to have you here. Every time I talk to Josh, he teaches me new stuff. He's got a great servant's heart to share what's going on. Josh, let's turn it over to you for now, and then when you're ready, let me know, and I'll come back on. But if you're good, I'll let you run, and if you want, I can do interview style. What would you rather do, guys? By the way, if you think I plan all these out really well, mistake, I don't. Josh and I literally been talking via chat, and we're like, hey, we'll hop on a call and we'll do this. So, what would work best for you, Josh? What would make sense?
I think you know your audience and what will
Hmm.
help them the most. I'm going to lead it. If you got questions, pop them in there. Or if somebody, hey, if it's in the chat, I, I facilitate all the time. I can talk to these things on the fly. If something pops in your head, drop it in the chat. Jonathan will facilitate it and we'll go through it because
Perfect.
I know a lot of you would probably not want me to do a 90-minute death by PowerPoint. I mean,
No,
I'm a
we
teacher.
don't
I
need
do
that.
have one, but I mean, I can totally do that. But what I wanted to talk about is everybody has expertise.
Yeah,
Okay. And the difference between us as entrepreneurs and the rest of the world, as Jonathan, as many people would say, is that we're the 1% crazy, as Russell talks about. Okay. I heard somebody said they want to see my slideshow. So I'm going to take and I'll pop it up in a second if Jonathan can give me approval for it.
there we go. You're all
Is
set.
um, And this is the shorthand version of these. And by the way, if you want to take a look, yes, I use AI to make my slide decks. That's Gamma. I
Woo.
purposely left the display view because it works really well. I have all my clients use it. Wish I had this when I was teaching. Stupid PowerPoint.
No doubt.
um, is that we're the 1% crazy that other people will come to as the leader to disseminate that knowledge. Okay. What I'm going to talk about is how we can use our three different brains, which I know we have one, but we can switch between them. There's lanes, and how to maximize that. Okay. And this is what it looks like. Okay. If Gamma will do what I want it to do, thank you. Is I talk about there's three modes there's expert mode, marketer mode, and educator mode. Okay. Expert mode is what most of us will natively drop into, particularly those of us who are the best at what we do. And the example I give to this is think about if you need to figure out how to fix something on your car. You go to that mechanic who's been doing it for 30 years and you try to have them walk you through how to do it. They know all the tips, all the tricks, everything else, but it's really hard for them to teach you how because they're so far away from having to learn it. But you go to the one that might have been doing it for a year or two, they've got a few tips, but they can kind of explain it a lot easier. Once you know how to filter through that, expert mode becomes a superpower for those of us who know what we're doing really well. Okay. But what happens is we default into let's just keep adding all these cool things. We're so into it on there and it creates overload. Now, This is the group I dealt with the most at the beginning. It's marketer mode. And it's all the people that can sell stuff like crazy. It's like effortless for a lot of them. And they're really good at selling the outcome, but how do you get to that outcome? It's hard to switch out of those hows, not the what's, not the hows. And they focus on the conversion without the result. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little quick tip on this. Here's the bonus part. If people buy your stuff, and they get results, they buy more of your stuff and then tell all their friends. And last time I checked, an existing customer is way easier to get than those new customers. That's why this is so important. It's a secret. That's why I get hired by a lot of these people to do these things. Okay. What we need to do is drop into educator mode. Because guess what? What's some of the best converting social content also right now? Teaching stuff. Okay. It's teaching stuff. So if we're able to then convey how to do it in super simple formats in a transformation, people get results. They buy more of your stuff. They tell all your friends. They'll also promote it for you for case studies. And then you can still sell it easier because you can tell people what they get out of it. That's marketer mode. Okay. So why is this important? I'm an educator. I love statistics. I'm gonna let you in on this. And also for all of you analytical brain people, you love this. Industry standard. If you follow the expert brain model, only 3 to 15% of those people can finish your content. No matter how long it is, no matter how expensive it is, 3 to 15%. And that's through massive studies. Okay. And not only that, Teachable did an internal um, audit on their entire platform of every single program in there, and 80% of the people who buy never go past the first module. You just lost 80% of those people that can be testimonials or promote your stuff. And why? As experts, we overestimate the ability of our clients by 300%.
Holy cow.
300%. Yeah.
Those
And I was
numbers
like, that,
astound me, Josh. Wow.
yeah, that's the reason why I tell people you have to break it down into bite-size pieces, and why having at least some sort of a dynamic way for those people to ask questions is important. Cool part, AI, you can clone yourself, so you can get some of that. Some people are still belly to belly help, and that's when you can bring in your higher ticket stuff. But a lot of it is they're not necessarily lazy, they're just overloaded. Okay. And I'm going to walk you through how to fix that. Okay. So this is how we fix it. I'm going to drop. I mean, you guys are pretty, you guys are all savvy, right? So we're going to drop right into it. First thing is micro learning, little bites of training. It boosts the retention of what they do by 50%. 50%, small chunks. Now, you might be thinking, but Josh, you're not practicing what you preach. This training that we're doing right now with Jonathan is longer than that. Live has a different format than watching a playback. It's different. And also, why do you think I just asked Jonathan to ask questions as we were going along? It's a break for
Exactly.
your brain. Haha. Teacher. You guys just got teachered. Um, so so shorter content wins. And courses, for example, have a 2x higher completion rate if they're 2 hours or less. Now you might be thinking, for those of you who are like, but I have a big formative program, it's going to take longer than that. Break it into multiple big modules or multiple courses. That's it. Break it into smaller pieces. And the study from Udemy was about 6 minutes. Our study shows 7 to 12 minutes. So you can get up to about 12 minutes. Because the problem is, like, you get below that, people are like, what am I going to learn in 3 minutes? Like, it's a little quick. That's like a social post. Like, I can't get too much from that. Okay. And also, if you just have, particularly in the first general week to 2 weeks, like a regular check-in, particularly if you have a mid to high ticket program, you got a 42% higher completion rate. Now, how can we put that in? Email check-in. Hey, first week, do you have any problems with stuff? Check to make sure they logged in. All of a sudden 42%. Boom, like that. Because with educator mode, we have clarity, momentum, and transformation. Okay. So this is what it looks like when we like laying it out. Remember I said one core transformation across 3 price points? Well, you have entry level with a self-paced course, still your curriculum. It's all self-guided. What if then you transformed it and you put it into a membership with a higher level of support. Yes, they should pay more. Boom, still same curriculum, multiple engagement, maybe with extra updates. You have a third one. You're not having to reinvent the wheel with multiple programs. Okay.
Wow, I got to interrupt you a moment, Josh. That to me is something that I know I've never really thought of in those words. You're
Mhm.
right. It's the same curriculum,
Mhm.
the same program, but different levels of interaction with each one. That seems so simple. I want to go,
Mhm.
duh.
Yeah. And that's the thing for me. I say this all the time to my clients. If you watch any of my social content, you want to follow me at everything social platform, it's JK Brown Official, is you're gonna hear me say ad nauseum, simple wins. If you look at, for example, look at somebody like Tony Robbins, really look at the order and what he teaches. He has been teaching the same thing at price points all the way from from a $24 book to a $250,000 mastermind. It's the same thing, just different levels of support and how much you add to the experience. That is it. Sorry for anybody here who dropped 250 on Tony. My bad. Um,
Time to go
so
buy the book, right?
time to go buy the book. And then same thing. If you're doing one-to-one, it's easier to sell if you can show them the framework you use. So for me, when I have people who want to work with me one-to-one, I show them this is what either A, I'm going to guide you through because you get direct access to me, or what my team is going to do. My team is going to do the same thing. It's repeatable. And what does that relate to? 3 times more revenue. Again, that's from Thinkific. They have like 100,000 programs on their site they sourced. And you get 36% more revenue. I don't know about you, but I'd love to work way less, have less frustration on figuring out what I'm doing, and put 36% on my bottom line.
Mm,
Anybody who doesn't, that's a slight problemo. No, that's not good.
that's
Okay.
massive.
It is by making it simpler. Boom. Now, how do we get that success? How do we build this to make it easier? Simple. I have a process called micro wins, wins, and victory. Okay. And we'll talk about that in a second. Basically, micro wins are the little aha moments that you can also request feedback on. Like, what was your biggest takeaway from this? Things like that. Those things that make you go, like, literally, like we just had right here with Jonathan going, I never thought about that. Dang, that's a micro win. That's an aha. You can add engagement stacks like we talked about, self-paced, community, touch points, things like that. All of those boost your customer success, but again, don't require a massive time investment. Okay? Because that's the problem. What if experts who we love what we do, it's our very first thing we do. Oh, we're gonna hop on a call. And all of a sudden you just filled 30 hours of your week with calls when why not try to do it in a group format when everybody can learn together? Okay? Also, progress tracking. In fact, I don't have the statistic here, but it was like a 20% jump approximately by adding the progress bar to the top of your member area.
Mm,
I
that's a
mean,
simple one.
yeah. I mean, if it was actually one of the things when I was talking to Todd and the team when they were doing some of the work on the member area for ClickFunnels, as I said, we've got to have progress indicators like boom, 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 because it's that big, and like that's the reason why like you can put it as like a giant bar across the top. Same thing. And then this is one a lot of people in our space get wrong is gamification. Gamification is not like what you see some of the people with certain platforms online promoting that may have an educator reference name to their software and they wear nose straps. Is engagement
I love it.
does not mean gamification. Okay. So just because somebody is talking a lot inside your program does not actually mean they're progressing. I look at we gotta have 2 ways to gamify. One, how many of your extroverts in the chat? Like just say me or type extrovert, something like that. How many extroverts we got?
Any
I'm
extroverts
sure
in the chat?
any
Are we getting
what
a
do you
bunch of them? There we go.
it's why I did extroverts first. It it's like they're always gonna be the ones like me.
Yeah, they're the easy ones. The introverts,
They're
you
the
go,
easy ones.
I don't want to tell anybody I'm an
And the
introvert. Yeah.
introverts just nod at the screen. You're fine. Um,
I love it.
those are the ones that love. In fact, introverts, I'm one of you. I'm playing a character right now. I like literally I'm an extrovert. I'm an extrovert introvert. Is they love getting the pat on the back because somebody noticed. So that's why I say it needs to be progress through the program, and then also people are active. If you can have both those sides, like I won't use a platform unless I can do both. Okay. So how does that pay off? Students win faster, completion rates rise, revenue multiplies, and your authority grows. Because guess what? More people get success with it. Okay. Now, I dumped a whole bunch of stuff on you all. And I know it was feeding with a fire hose, but I'm going to do the quick takeaways from it. Here's the easy parts. Breaks up into smaller pieces. Don't try to reinvent the wheel with each one of your programs. And then also remember, you're gonna have some loud people that they need that pat on the back, but then also the quiet ones, they can do that easy enough inside almost any learning management software. All you have to do is look for engaged students, the ones that are engaged. People are moving through. They need to pat on the back. Almost every one of your softwares will tell you who's the engaged people are. They need a, pat on the back. Hey, good job for moving your stuff forward. Okay. A lot of this can be automations. Now, who would like to know how, since Jonathan's known as the AI guy, and I'm guessing, what do you think, Jonathan? Most of these people are kind of interested in how I do this with AI.
I was going to say, the part that's got me excited, Josh, is talking about how do we the things you're talking about make so much sense. But how do we
Mhm.
leverage AI? Somebody's in the chat said,
Mhm.
sometimes it's hard to break courses apart. But I also know that AI helps you do that because AI can analyze
Mhm.
and think of things differently. I would love to hear guys tell. Yeah, I would say we're already seeing. I didn't even ask, and everybody in the
Mhm.
chat's going, me, me, me. We want to hear that. So yeah, talk to us. This is how you and I got started on our
Yep.
conversations. Talk to us about where you're an educator, a teacher. How do you leverage AI to make
Mhm.
this work better?
Now, I love people who are getting into AI for an ethical reason. They're not just using it to like my personal pet peeve or I see the ads, make your course in 5 minutes with AI. Okay, are you an expert in it or are you just regurgitating something ChatGPT said?
Thank you.
Yeah, I personally I have like at least 15 broken soapboxes sitting in the corner over here of the ones I stood on and jumped up and down on about that one. Is that for the way you can start doing it, and this is the first level of things. The first thing I like to do is that when you're crafting content and you're starting to build a course or you already have one, is whether you're using ChatGPT or Claude. I like to start with ChatGPT because the research engine on it is much better for what I do. Okay, like I talked about Jonathan with this last time. I use 3 layers of AI when I'm
Hmm.
doing these. I start with ChatGPT because the references and research engine on it is much better. Then when I'm composing stuff, I like to go over to Claude because it'll actually replicate my language much better.
Hmm.
Then this was the bonus one is I use a software called Hemingway, and it has an AI option that will tell you what grade level you actually wrote the program in. And you
Hugely
can go,
beneficial.
yeah, which is hugely beneficial because I was an academic writer and I know me, I write bone dry unless I have somebody helping me with it. And I like using giant words that only a handful of people will actually know what they are. So when I first wrote the book, it was actually labeled um, postgraduate level writing. And I was like, that's probably not a good idea. And it said about 3/4 of what I wrote was hard to read because of the writing level. So for me, that was helpful. So what I do is I'll upload all the information that I have first. Then what I like to do is build a very detailed, what's called psychographic profile of my ideal client. What
Mm.
I do is I go in and I will ask ChatGPT to go, hey, I am an expert in this, and I want to target this audience in this location that has this type of experience, and they're looking to achieve this. And I want a full psychographic profile. And then these are the two things I like to add to it. One is what have they tried so far in this niche and failed? And then what is their um, current pain points to solve this problem? And then I load that into a project with all my information. So it's now very aware of who I want to cater this information to. Okay, now Jonathan does a much more detailed version of getting deeper in all of these things. I'm sure he's
That's
gone
no,
through.
you've got it though. And guys, I already see
Yeah.
people going, where do we get that prompt? You guys, it's going to be in the transcript. We'll put that
Mhm.
out. You guys will be able to grab that directly. So we'll be able to have that. Good, no, good stuff. Keep going. Don't let me interrupt you.
Yeah. Oh, no problem. Hey, ask questions away because remember that's that pattern interrupt thing where everybody resets their brain.
I'm good at the interrupt.
Um,
Just ask my wife.
sa Same here. Mine's the extrovert counselor. Like I get 2 words in with her. So the thank goodness she isn't up here. You would have seen like the flip flop come at me. So so I like to load it because remember, you have to remember the audience that this is going to go to. For example, when I was doing the research for the book, because am I going to spend that much time on Google or wherever, or I want, and yes, there's perplex. When I started doing this, like I wasn't as adept at using Perplexity and stuff like that. Yes, you can use some of those things for these reference items too, but I wanted references. So what I did was I loaded it and I started going like, hey, I want to back, in my opinion, can you find research items, things like that? Then what I do is in that same project, I'll make another document. I will put all of the types of research I want to validate my point with. Again, now it's like it's hitting home what the outcome is of what I want to do. Now, do you guys want my super secret formula that's, well, not super secret, it's going to be in the book of how I build the program? Everybody want that?
Absolutely.
Okay, it's
Guys,
called the
tell
bookend.
us in the comments. Let's make
Yeah.
them work for it. There we get. We can get more than
Okay.
one yes. Come on, guys. We can do
Yeah.
better than that. We've got a lot of people on
It-
here. There
yeah.
we
I mean, it's
go. Now we're
164 of you. Well, I guess 162 of us because Jonathan and I, we got to take that out of it. We're hosting the thing.
there we go. We're
And,
getting
and
some
pro
yeses now.
yeah,
That's
there we
good. We
go.
got to get a
Okay.
little engagement. There we good.
Yeah. So everybody wake up. It's lunchtime. I know. Food coma. I always hated teaching the class after lunch when I was a teacher. Everybody'd be like, like, food coma. So what I do is it's called the book end build. Okay. What I do is most people start at the beginning, right? Of like, I'm going to start here and go here. Nah, I go the other way. I go the far end. What's the end result I want for them? Is it I want them to land their first high ticket client? Do I want them to reduce in half the amount of days they suffer from anxiety? Is it I want their dog to lay down, roll over, and shake hands? Whatever it is, that's success. That's victory. I call that end victory because what I'm talking about is literally it's like a bookcase. Shameless product placement. It's
That was
like a
good. That was
it's
good.
like book. I didn't even realize I was doing that, and I was like, is think about what bookends are. They hold all the books together. What are your modules? They're individual books. Then I go the other end. Remember that psychographic profile that we talked about? Where
Hmm.
are those people starting? Because not everybody's going to be a brand newbie. It's like I'm not talking to somebody that I have to go. A sales funnel is a basic process that guides clients through this. Like, no, that I need somebody at least has a little bit of marketing chops. Okay. That's what I need. I
Hmm.
need some marketing chops to work with me. So I have those people. Also, they're an expert in what they do. Like for me, my demographic is completely different than probably 99% of the people, how you make course people. My average client's about 40 and has at least 15 years of experience in what they do. Like I have a completely different audience than everybody else because I set that. I want real experts in what they do. Not everybody has that, but a lot of them are. So it's a baseline. Some might have 3 or 4, but and someone might have one of my clients has 35 years of experience in what he does.
Wow.
Like, yeah, like crazy. Is we set that. So now what I can do is I can go to ChatGPT. I can get, and now it has some of my IP. At least I told them about what I do. I can say, what would be an ideal pathway for them to get them from here to here of big things? Like, what are they? Okay. And John Brown, you're fine. You're fine. I can help you. You're solid last name. You're good. I saw you pop up there. You're up to par, man. Um, is I can look to see now what those pain points are to build that bookcase. And each one of those books is a big piece of the pie to get them to that end result. To give you an example, like that first high ticket client, one of those could be developing your offer. The other one could be your funnels. The next one could be marketing. Then under that are all the individual steps they need to get that first sales funnel built or launch their first social campaign or build a script for closing a client. Because here's the thing, remember I talked about that gamify and progress and things like that?
Hmm.
Imagine if you're a brand new person. Think back to your very early entrepreneur career. The first time you got that sales funnel or website live. You thought that was the greatest thing in the world because guess what it was? You did something not less than 1% of any entrepreneur does. Same thing inside the programs. Those are things, those are big objectives. But inside each one of those objectives are lessons. Those are what we call the micro wins. Those are the little things forward. Like, for example, I was talking with a client, they were doing out there, have a program on outreach. So imagine if somebody has never DM'd somebody and finally got the yes to get them on a call. That's like opening the floodgates,
That's a
right?
massive win.
It's a massive win. All of us, I'm on my eighth call this week. It was a light week. Not a big deal for me, but for them, first time, huge because that's their audience. I have other clients that do lead gen. They're like, we want their team to have 100 calls in a week. That'd be a different program. So for your
Absolutely.
clients and that starting point, where do you want them to get? Okay. Now, what I like to use the AI for at this whole beginning is catering that the curriculum and inside, by the way, ChatGPT, call it a curriculum. It no and ask it to be a curriculum writer.
Ooh, ooh.
Ask it to be
One
an
word
expert
difference.
level curriculum writer because it's going to go, I want to be a curriculum writer. I was one. I've written curriculums for the state of Virginia. I've done them for several people who I'm on NDAs for that I'm sure you've seen around the internet, and things like that. Tell it you want to be a curriculum writer and then have a dynamic conversation with it. Oh, I'm an expert and I prefer it to be here. I prefer it to be here. And then ask it to go through module to module and hone it in. Okay. That allows you to now get the depth and take it from a generic to your version. You can even, as you're going through, upload a piece like, oh, I did a social post on this. Please use this to do this lesson with. Here's this, and you can feed it. Now, here's the cool part. Remember, I said this is in a project, right? What does the memory in a project do inside AI? Stays consolidated.
Mm.
Remember, I said educational content is some of the best in marketing. Let me show you. You can take that and now bring it over and create social content in about 30 seconds because it's catered to that audience and positioning me as an authority. I then can go over there and say, I'd like 5 viral reels for the week for this audience with micro training from my curriculum. They need to be 45 to 90 seconds with a CTA of this. Boom. When I started doing that, the engagement on my reels doubled.
Holy cow. Okay, there's
Simple.
so much gold here, Josh. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Double just with that simple tip. Holy cow.
because I'm resonating with that audience. I
It makes
literally
sense.
built a virtual audience inside my project that then I can write a reel that's in their head. Remember I talked about marketer mode at the end?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how you get it into marketer mode. You then go, I need this to do this with this CTA. Boom. I then can make it. Then guess what you can do when you need to sell it? I told the other one I wanted it to be a copyright. I want to be just foreshadowed it. I wanted to be a curriculum writer. I need you to act as a world-class copywriter to create a sales page for this. You now have all the things you need to start building the copy. Pro tip, I put it in ChatGPT, then bring it over to Claude to polish it up a little bit, but um that's then you're able to do that. Okay, because you're able to you're building it around that whole audience. I'll even take for those of you, how many people by the way in the chat have run ads before? Like anybody? Ad
Type
people?
ads. If you guys have run ads, type
Ads.
ads.
Take Zuckerberg's took my money.
Yeah,
Um,
no doubt. That's a good one. Yeah.
I jokingly call it the Zuckerberg tax when you're testing stuff. So a lot of people are running ads. You know, there's reports on there, right? Why don't you
Mhm.
download those reports and put them in the same project and tell it these are the types of people that were engaging with my ads and converted? Because you can run one that tells what the results were based on the graph that it'll give you. I did that the other day. Even for me, I was just like, what? Like, my Instagram, by the way, is JK Brown Official and Facebook, same thing. Uh, and I'm friends with Jonathan. Find me there. Um, is you can literally take and then go, these are the people that are resonating with it. Cater it to the people that are engaging with my ads. Boom. You then can hone it more and more by keep giving it more and more data as you're going through. So I actually went into reports. I told it, give me the gender, give me the age ranges, what platform are they using, all those things in the reports, spit it out in one, which by the way, you want to see one giant spreadsheet, click the all data galore. Gave me the whole thing, and it literally told me what was wrong with a couple of my ads, why it thought it wasn't converting. So you can go in there and say, hey, I need to now make an ad, which my screen just froze. That's in a very unfortunate spot.
Turn your video
But
on and off again. It should fix it.
yeah, I realized my camera went into hibernation. I'll be back.
There
You
we
guys
go.
get
No
old
problem.
school version of me just talking.
That'll
And it'll
work.
come
That's
back.
all right.
It'll come back in a second.
They're used to it.
Um,
My webcam freezes up all the time for some reason. So you see,
there we go.
you're part of the club now, Josh.
It is. Yeah, I noticed it's like that just over 30-minute window. All of a sudden it's just like, haha, nope, you gotta stop. And I'm the video guy. I got like three cameras on me right now. Um, so those are a couple of things I like to do when I'm honing it, is literally will sit there till I want to be a curriculum writer. And then like, okay, you need to write a stack of emails. I want a 5 email sequence to my audience that includes nuggets of information on this topic. Boom. And now it's catered to your audience with your solution, how you're doing it. You see? So all of
Hmm.
those things now build to those. Like the last time I ran a email sequence by doing that, I had uploaded some examples of my writing, and I literally in the project said title of the file, examples of my writing. So it knows what it is. And I went over and I said, I want to do a 5 email sequence. I had an over 70% open rate
Wow.
on those emails.
That's killer.
Yeah. And I had about a 36-ish% click rate on the link, things like
Incredible.
that. Yeah.
Incredible.
So we
I mean, that's
actually
a
did
that's a
that
that's
with
a
it.
that's a 21% click rate on your list. That's just
Mhm.
wow.
As it was written for that audience. It resonated with them. My audience, I realized compared to like if I just asked a copyright like GPT to do it is like other audiences, they're like probably 25% interested in the result of their clients, 75% how much money they can make with it.
Hmm.
My audience is 50-50. They want to help a bunch of people and they want to get compensated for it. Like they're pretty even. So the voicing is different. I took and hesitated on my offer for a year and a half because I kept listening to somebody saying nobody cares about completion rates, nobody cares about this, nobody cares. As soon as I started talking about that, my offer went crazy because my audience wants to hear that. I was talking about all the other things. I just kind of ignored that part. I wasn't just like, screw results, get, sell stuff, I wasn't doing that, but it was just like I wasn't saying that's part of my voicing. When I started my results, things like that, all of a sudden people were like, boom, yeah, you know, and because my audience wants it, and that's who resonates with me. Hence why Jonathan and I get along, and we both have the hatred for the 2 minute GPT course get people.
You see
Or
them all the time, though, and it's frustrating. I mean, Josh, you've seen
yes.
that too as a course creator. You see somebody going out and, I literally had
Mhm.
somebody in the group post earlier today something about the fact that, they want to be an expert in AI and offer courses, and can somebody give them a prompt to do that? And I'm like, dude, if you're asking for a prompt to
Yeah.
help you write a course, you're not an expert. So yeah, it
No,
can be frustrating.
it's additive, not a replacement. That's the
Mm,
big thing. That's the thing. I look at AI as your writing assistant and your research assistant. In the academic world, it's not uncommon. I can tell you most business books and things like that have writing assistants. They have ghostwriters, but the IP is the person whose name is on the cover. So it needs to be your IP, but you can have the AI help you with it. Otherwise, you need to put by ChatGPT at the bottom of it because it wasn't you. So that's the big thing we talk about a lot is that you need to take and make sure it's still your IP and things like that, but then you can amplify it using AI or streamline things. Like I use AI to help me craft some of the writing I use because I am so ingrained with academic writing that what I write is dry as toast. Like if I
mm.
don't have somebody help me with it, and I still do a lot of things like never write in first person because it's really hard for me to do that. Like I see a word I on a page and I'm just like, "All right, you're not supposed to do that." I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not academic writing. I'm fine because everything in academic writing is in third person. So, the person who does this, stuff like that. So, um, yeah, but that's a couple of things we do with AI to help it. And also, like, when you then, if you want a slide deck with your course, things like that, you can say, um, hey, I need a slide deck on this topic, which, by the way, if you guys are going between ChatGPT or Claude and going over to Gamma, tell it to put a line between each one of your slides. It saves you a bunch of time. Um,
Good
and
tip. Good tip.
yeah, you to do that helps it out. Um, yeah, it'll actually auto divide it into slides for you. Um, I actually asked ChatGPT how I could do that. Like,
I was going
make
to say,
sure
I
it
don't know
did
where
it.
you came up with that, because that's a brand new
I
one to me. I
asked it
love
and it
that.
said, oh, if I add lines, it'll figure it out. I'm like, all right, do that. And all of a sudden, I dropped in Gamma and it worked. I was like, okay.
Love that.
Yeah, it literally told me how to do it better on somebody else's software. I was like, okay. Then somebody else in ChatGPT had asked that at some point, like, I don't want to have to like put it between the slides, all that. So, yeah, those are things. And I saw somebody had a comment grade level. For grade level, it used to be in marketing, people said third grade. Honestly, without getting into some of the other things, is I would recommend generally, depending on your audience, about eighth grade. I generally tell people it's a pretty safe bet. My audience, I can go higher, just because most of mine are a little more experienced, or a little bit more mature, things like that. A good ballpark would be about sixth or eighth grade for when you're doing it.
Yeah, I was
So,
going to say, I've seen a lot that people are shooting that seventh grade, which again, right between sixth and eighth grade,
mhm.
is a really good level. I trust your judgment though more than what I've read. So,
It really depends on your audience too. Like my audience is generally like I really did a demographic profile. Um, on my audience, and most of them had um, um, the most of them are college educated or and things like that. So, um, they end up being a little bit easier on some of the writing and things like that.
hmm
Depends on your audience. Like I have a client who their audience were actually blue collar workers. And I mean, they were masters of their craft. Like they're all like master welders and stuff like that. But advanced language is a turnoff to that audience. So
hmm
we went with like we had a little bit lower just because it's a little easier, and we also made it more witty. Like that was the other thing. We
Ooh, I
we
like
made
that.
we made the language a little more witty. When in doubt, if your copy that comes out of ChatGPT is there, tell it to be more witty by like 10%, and all of a sudden it doesn't sound dry. But somebody asked a question about my logo. I made it. I used to teach graphic design, so I made my own logo.
That's
Probably should have
cool.
outsourced it, but yeah, that was mine. So yeah. So if
Well,
anybody has
good.
any particular
I would
questions, or
say,
John, you want to fire them away,
yeah,
go
let me,
for it.
I say, let me pop back in here. I think there's so many things that came up through the discussion. If you guys have got questions, if you'd raise your hand, we've got a few minutes here, and we'll definitely make time to try to
Hmm.
answer some of those questions as well. Everybody knows, raise your hand, we'll get called on. One of the questions that I wanted to bring up though, related back to where you originally started, taking that course and turning it into mini courses essentially
Hmm.
from that. Have you found overall that in doing so, you're able to get people to how far are you seeing people get to the completion? You may have mentioned it, I missed it, but you mentioned so many people buy a course, they get, they take the first lesson or they don't even complete that, like 80% don't get beyond the first one. What type of improvement do you see when you start breaking it up? Because obviously, the further through a course you get, the higher probability they're going to buy more from you, the higher probability they're going to give you a testimonial, all of those things. What type of rise are you seeing there?
Well, statistically, when you do micro type learning, you're going to increase retention by 50%.
Okay, that's huge.
Like
Okay.
right out of the gate. And that was from the Journal of Applied Psychology um, on it. And the big reason is, yeah, people are much more driven on expediency of result. If I mean, it's just the way I always like to use very practical, everybody's seen them examples.
Mm,
If I said you can lose 50 pounds by this time next year, offer would not fly, right?
you're
Like
right.
people are like, that is hard. Like I gotta do this for a year. But if I said you could lose 5 pounds this month, people are like, yeah.
Yeah, makes perfect
You see?
sense.
Same thing with courses. It's like, hey, if you just stick with me for the next like hour, you can get this done. All of a sudden the time horizon gets much more shortened. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to reduce the time horizon. And by doing this also, we've all seen this. How many people have seen those courses where you log in, like first two modules are like crammed with stuff, and then by like module like four, it's like
Yeah,
three
there's nothing
things in
there.
it.
Uh-huh.
It's like
Been
it's like
there,
a
done
ski
that.
slope. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It needs to be more evenly spread. Okay. Like I saw this actually from a guy who has a program on course creation. I saw his outline. It was like the first one had like 17 or 18 objectives, and the next one had like 12 or 15. Then it went to nine by like module like eight. It was two things. I'm like,
Mm.
you're teaching me how to do courses. I think that doesn't work. Spread it out. Like, make it easier.
So, Ron, I'm going to get to you in just a minute, but Michael just asked a question I think directly relates to this. I want to address real quick. Michael says he's unclear if we need to take a $997 course and break it into multiple course purchases or something else. Josh, as I understand this isn't about breaking up your course into
No.
multiple. It's taking your course and breaking into multiple sections because if you have
Hmm.
long sections, it's like that 2 hour
Yeah.
professor that you never wanted to go listen to in college as
Yep.
opposed to the genius that came out and over coffee would tell you in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I still remember that course 3.5 hours Wednesday morning at 8:45 in a black room. Yeah, that was not good. Bad
But am I
times.
right? Is my
Yeah,
assumption correct on that?
it's not about taking a 997 course and making it nine courses at $97. It's about taking like you've got to get people at different entry points. And when I say you can break it up inside the 997, you can break it up into smaller pieces for them to consume. But then using that same curriculum, somebody might need a whole, how to do marketing course,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but they're problem aware at this moment to write an email.
Mm.
So if you have a workshop on a on how to write email and then go, hey, we got you the email. How about we help you with the rest of it? And we have it in more detail and more guides and prompts, everything else. inside our full program, guess what? You fixed their problem. They got results. That 987 now becomes a no-brainer. Our entire idea is to start making that a no-brainer offer as we can take little pieces out. Same thing, like we can take a little chunk out of that course and give a 2-minute nugget of info on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube short or whatever. And that person, you go, oh, that is totally awesome. Yeah, that's all. Oh, hold on. He's got a whole course. I'm in, you see?
I do. It
And
makes
that,
perfect sense.
yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
It makes it a whole lot easier.
Cool. I hope that made sense to Michael. Michael says, yep, okay, that does make good sense. Awesome. Rhonda, you raised your hand. What's on your mind? Let me bring you up on screen here. What question have you got?
Hi there. So I kind of asked it in the chat, but I wanted to expand on it a little bit. Is there a difference? Like, is there a difference in appeal factor with the naming convention? And I'm talking about like calling it a challenge versus a course versus a mini course. Is there like a psychological
Yeah, it's a
factor?
great question. Yeah, there is. You have to think about your audience and what would appeal to them. Because like a challenge is really just a format that you can call it a challenge, but you have to think about it. Does that person really want to be challenged? Because challenge can be hard. Like some people are like competition driven because a challenge sounds competitive, right? Does your audience want to be competitive? Like we split tested this. We had an offer for a while with helping teachers start online businesses. We started with a challenge, crickets. They're like, I'm challenged enough 8 to 4 o'clock where I'm good. We changed it to workshop. All of a sudden, people started clicking it. Same offer exactly, just changing it from challenge to workshop. So that's why I like ChatGPT and say, I want to do a format of a program commonly called a challenge. Would my audience like this, or what would be a better name? Could be
Ooh,
workshop
Okay.
series, could be mini
ooh.
course, whatever it is.
Well, I've kind of played with that a little bit because I use Manus and Gemini a lot to do a lot of my research and analysis with my demographic, which are women in midlife,
Hmm.
specifically women in midlife who have the desire to travel, live a
Hmm.
location independent lifestyle. I've been a digital nomad for a
Hmm.
decade. So I've created this, what I've called a challenge. It's a 3-day challenge. So it's just like a little mini course that, takes you from seeing it to, starting to, work through mindset stuff. And then it gives you like a roadmap to get started. That will segue into my 12-week mentorship program. And then I have a funnel in between, like a cell in between, because this course will be introducing custom GPTs specifically related to travel, midlife women, and the digital nomad lifestyle. But I called it From Stuck to Start, to kickstart your midlife nomad journey. But I'm calling it a 3-day challenge. So is
Hmm.
that because it's not really
Yeah,
it's not a course. It's just kind of the segue into what I'm promoting.
even outside, this is I'm going to put on the marketer mode. Is I and this is one thing Jonathan can tell you. I'm kind of brutally honest when it comes to things because
Yep,
mincing words
please, by
doesn't.
all
This,
means.
this, this
It
audience
it
likes
took
that. That's good.
it took about a minute and a half to explain what your challenge does. It should be 3 seconds. Join my challenge
Okay,
does this to this. That's more probably the problem than just choosing the right
the name.
vocabulary for it. It needs to be very. You join the challenge. This is what they get. Like
Okay,
boom.
end result.
And yep. And I'm a fan of brutally honest names. Do I really think Course Selling Playbook is the most inventive name ever? Absolutely not. Do you know exactly what's inside of this thing? Exactly. That's why I put an under tagline thing, which is the more witty version. Because I was talking to a couple of my buddies, I'm like, think about naming this, that, and the other thing, but it's like I had this other one. It was this Course Selling Playbook. It's kind of lame, but it was. And they all went that one, and I was like, all right. And I split tested, and guess what? Blunt and to the point of what it does always wins. You know,
Okay,
you don't have enough rapport for witty, so I just like It needs to be boom, you get this by doing the challenge. Here's the name. What is the ultimate thing your audience wants? Like from you, your help, what do they get?
They get to learn how to live a life of freedom and location independence, traveling and working remotely.
What I would do, because like that's a really broad bit of stuff. Pick one
Well, I was
thing out of
just,
that
mhm.
and go for it and practice it. Practice your elevator speech of this. Like for me, I can tell people right off the bat, like I help experts monetize their knowledge while creating a legacy and impact under their own terms. Like right away, boom. Oh, hold on, cool. I'm an expert. I want to build legacy and not have to be a slave to my Zoom calls. Cool. Yeah, I'm in. Like, see, like, boom, just like that's the big one. In that audience, I had a lady who was in a similar audience. Um, we called it a boot camp. And it sounds a little off, but think about the age demographic and what their workouts were before. Boot camps were huge.
Mm,
They resonated with it. So I tried boot camp.
Okay.
Yep.
good
Thank you. I
Cool.
stuff.
appreciate it.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Josh. I appreciate a good question, Rhonda. Glad to see it.
It was a great
We got a
question.
bunch of other questions coming up in the chat. Anybody else got anything you want to ask Josh about live while we've got him here for a few more minutes? Certainly happy to share his expertise. I'll go to hop over to the chat here a minute and see what we've got that may be along the way. Michael has another question about what about promising bonuses along the way as a motivator to buy a course or to buy the next course or whatever. Any thoughts on those upsells that come along?
What the way I like to format is first of all, I'm not a big fan of lead magnets and things like that. So I'm going to say this right out of the gate. I'm a fan. I think things at very high value you get like newsletters are beneficial for things like that. And then when you get to the actual sale itself, is you have your core component. You can do additives with it, like joining today, you get a bonus of this. Thing is things like that, but they need to be not fake scarcity bound. Like I've pretty much removed countdown timers and things from all of my stuff. As everybody knows that there's unless it's a specificity of an event, it doesn't really matter.
Hmm.
Um, and the um So what I like to do is things like OTOs, they're
Yep.
additive.
Gotcha.
And you
Okay.
have to, and this is the magic sauce, everybody. Um, is that you have to be careful that the one-time offer does not sound like you didn't get everything from the thing you bought before.
Ooh, key point.
That's
Key point. Yeah.
really you gotta like I when I have ChatGPT or somebody like help me brainstorm ideas, I'll say I do not want this to sound at all like somebody did not get what they wanted. If you guys want to tell me, I'll tell you what the stack is like what I have for mine. I'll tell you
That
so you guys can use it as an example. Okay? Somebody comes in for the playbook, they get the playbook then and they're not actually live right now. I'm redoing a little bit of it. So literally it's just the book on the funnel right now. My first OTO is an SOP guides they can download right away. I'm not doing digitals of the book, they're physicals only.
okay.
So if they want it, they can get the SOPs, the standard operating procedures for the 12 big things in the playbook. They're recipe cards basically for what they do.
Okay.
And it's 27 and the book is 47. So it's down.
Gotcha.
Then the OTO is a workshop series on the book. So it's a mini course slash workshop, whatever you want to call it. And that's okay. Like literally, you get everything in the book. I'm just going through it in more detail, each piece. So notice how I'm not baiting and switching. It's you get those pieces. And then the piece on the back end that I have with it is I started a membership
Okay.
that people get same curriculum, but with threads to support it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. See, so none of it's I didn't hold anything back. It's just different modes of delivery.
Right.
Delivery.
It right makes perfect sense. Kind of like you said up front. It's
See?
taking that same thing and repurposing it in different ways. I love that. But
Mhm.
before we get too far here, I want to make sure you give an offer. So you've got a launch going right now, a pre-launch
Mhm.
on your book. Guys, I've already bought this. This book is amazing. Can you share with everybody what that looks like, or
Yeah,
how
it
they
looks
can
like
take
this.
advantage of it? Oh, here we go.
I'm
Okay,
I'm a smart aleck.
that's all right. I don't
Is
mind.
Yeah, I do physical books. It's something I talk to my clients a lot about is there's time for digital books. I think if you're writing something formative, physical. So what we're doing is you can pre-order them now. It's $47 delivered to your door, no shipping. And I'm gonna actually, since the OTOs aren't live, everybody who got inside who actually grabbed the book ahead of time, I'm actually gonna give them the OTOs
Oh,
with
cool
them ahead of
bonus.
time
Awesome.
is because they weren't live, so you didn't have a chance to get them. So I just figured, hey, might as well everybody get them. And we're going to be doing those. And what this does is this is a wider scope than we talked about. Is this is all the data I used to find all the pieces. It's my formula I've used over the past decade in teaching. And I'm going to let y'all know something. I have wicked ADD. So I wrote it in a way that it's very easy blocked and chunked. So you can literally use this like a recipe book, find the piece you need, or you start at the beginning and work through in its entire success path to go through it along with common questions and all of those things and all of that. So because I realized most business books are, you know, 8 gazillion pages of stories and everything else. And I have little bits of stories of how it came
Hmm.
about, references of, people I've worked with and how to do it. But then, hey, this is how you do it. And this is the research to back it up. I wanted the whole book to be like that. And I've had a few people get sneak peeks on it, and the feedback has been really good on it. And I looked at that because part of what I did was being a special education teacher. I know the statistic that about 75% of entrepreneurs that's who's going to be buying the book, have some sort of attention deficit issue. So I figured might as well make it ADD friendly.
That's me. Yeah,
All of us
absolutely.
ADD kids will meet
Yes,
about
there's a
this
bunch of us.
tomorrow,
So,
right? Um, so
so there says there's a question on that. It says that the website is showing a $27 pre-order and a $47 book. What's the difference? I'm
that
not
is,
actually looking at it. That just came in from Anne. So,
yeah. Hey, John, somebody's got a mic hot. I
yep, let me find out who that is here a minute.
think
Thank
it's,
you.
yeah.
I got it.
Uh, you know what? We might have updated the wrong page. It's 47. That's what the cost is on it. Thank you for letting me know. I will fix that. It is one
I'm glad
cost
it's not,
on
I'm
it.
not the only one that ever messes up a funnel.
Oh yeah, we were playing around with it, and I'm gonna be brutally honest. These are full color. They are not print to cheap, not cheap to print, y'all. And I want
No
it to be
doubt.
color because yeah, it's they're full color.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
like, and this isn't the one, even the one with all the color in it. This was the proof one. So yeah, I'll check that. It is 47. And also it's one of those things that books are not cheap, and if you check, shipping rates went up, so I make virtually nothing on this. So that's the that's the one. So yep.
I'll get you
Yeah,
guys a link here in just a minute because actually, uh, Josh gave us one, and of course, I didn't think about prior to the call to do it because I was so excited to talk to Josh to grab it. So just ask Romeo and my team if she can send that over. If not, we'll just give you the website link and encourage you to go out there and get it so that you guys can figure things out. We've got some audience that's not in the U.S. Is that offer? How's that offer change if you're not in the U.S.? Because I assume the free shipping's probably got a tariff or something on it. Any idea how that works at all, Josh, or no?
yeah, we're going to we need to check on the international shipping. In fact, I can look at that today. It was so in flux over the past like 30 days. It went from like, okay, it would be an extra $10 to ship it, and then some places it was like 30. And it was kind of, impossible to kind of keep things going with it. So and because Jonathan pulled everybody together, by the way, everybody who does get the book, I'm not normally a pitch man, so I'll just do it the plain format version. Everybody, as soon as the bonuses are live that are normally OTOs you pay for, we're going to give everybody a copy of them, and
Oh, thank you. That's amazing.
they should be shipping out in about a week or so.
Okay, so
That's
we're
this
real
we're
close to
ending.
shipping date. Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we ordered I'm gonna be really, this is a teachable moment for everybody in the last minute we got here is yeah, we ordered an initial proof set and found there was a printing error in it. And I was like, I'm not gonna send that out.
Oh,
So yeah,
no.
I got a stack of books sitting over there in the corner that are great paperweights.
I was gonna
So
say, that's going to be a collector's item. I think
it
I'll pay
is.
more for that one.
I'll send you one. The error in it was pretty darn funny. Half on me, half on the printer.
There you
So
go. That's all right.
yep. Hey, I'll
That's all
take
right.
ownership.
Hey, I
So
just watched a TV show this weekend about a version of like the original transcript, one book in the Old Testament that had changed the thou shalt not commit adultery to thou shalt commit adultery. And the entire movie was built around finding
yep,
that because it was worth millions of dollars. So I trust that misprint's going to be
yep.
worth a ton someday. I'm like,
It
guys, I
it
want to
will.
just thank you, Josh, for your time. Guys, I'll do the push for Josh. Probably better than I do for myself. If you thought the value he gave today was worth it, I'm telling you, he's brilliant. What he's got, go and you've got the budget. Go buy the book for $47, guys. It's a small investment. Just remember what he said up front about, in so many times, like with Tony Robbins and anybody else, you can buy the book and you can learn everything, but we often pay a lot more for the experience and that comes along with that. So if you have any interest at
Mhm.
all, I'll make the shameless plug. Do Josh a favor, support him, buy the book. If you can't,
Thank
that's
you.
not a problem. But if you can, go ahead and buy it. I promise you it'll be worth its weight in gold, literally. I mean, he's got so much value in there. Josh, thank you for joining us today. I did,
Oh,
by the
thank
way,
you for
post
having me.
post the link. So if you guys want that again, I'll repost that. We will send it out again as well. But there's a link there. That way, Josh will know and be able to get us that OTO offer that he made. So that's amazing. If you already bought it before that, just message me and I'll let Josh know so we can get that done. Guys, thank you for your time. Josh, thank you especially for joining us. I know you're
Thank you for
super
having
busy.
me.
I'm so excited for your new book and can't wait to see the launch be a smashing success. And for those wondering, we will send this replay out. We'll send all the links and everything so you guys will have all that in your email and I'll post it in the groups as well. So with that, make it a great day, everybody. Do me a favor on the way out if you would. Give Josh a huge thanks in the chat, and we will see you guys soon. Take care, everybody.
Take care.
I'm going to wait just a minute. I want to watch all these thank yous come in.
Thanks everybody
Shane,
for
I love it.
I appreciate it. That's awesome.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye.